Here are the stories that we're tracking for you today. The 2020 Tokyo Olympics are finally here in the year 2021. It's a joyous occasion. However, despite the year-long pandemic delay, the coronavirus is still center stage. The opening ceremony kicking off Friday in a mostly empty stadium as the host city battles a 6-month high in COVID infections. Hours ahead of the start to the Games, the organizers confirmed Olympics-related cases rose by nearly 20, bringing the total number of disclosed cases over 100. Also just mere hours before Friday's opening ceremony, the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee's medical chief confirmed that 100 of the 613 U.S. athletes descending on Tokyo for the Olympics are unvaccinated. Suddenly, Republican governors are taking the latest spike in COVID infections more seriously. Take Alabama Governor Ivey. In May, she signed a ban on coronavirus vaccine passports. But now, when asked what it's going to take to get the vaccination rate up in the state, she seemed astonished.
I don't know, you tell me. Folks supposed to have common sense. But it's time to start blaming the unvaccinated folks, not the regular folks. It's the unvaccinated folks that are letting us down.
And it's not just a coincidence. In fact, of the 10 states with the worst vaccination rates in the country, 8 of the governors have either banned vaccine mandates and passports or publicly expressed opposition to such requirements.
You guys didn't think any of this through.
According to the CDC director, unvaccinated people represent 97% of the nation's current COVID hospitalizations and nearly all deaths. Now, one group in Alabama that is mostly vaccinated, the Alabama football team. 90% of them, according to coach Nick Saban. We're not telling anyone what to do, but if seeing the Crimson Tide roll were dependent on whether Alabamans rolled up their sleeves, we're just curious what would happen. Stat of the day: Silicon Valley cashing in big during the pandemic. The combined stock market value of Apple, Alphabet, Nvidia, Tesla, Microsoft, Amazon, and Facebook increased by about 70% to more than $10 trillion. That is roughly the size of the entire U.S. stock market in 2002. And 2 other big tech companies just reported record second quarters. Snapchat reported its highest revenue and user growth numbers since 2018, and Twitter's revenue grew 74% year over year for the quarter, its highest year over year growth period in 7 years. A New York City pilot program to respond to 911 calls for nonviolent mental health crises with social workers instead of police officers appears to be more successful. Instead of cops and paramedics responding to 911 mental health calls, 3-person teams of social workers and paramedics respond instead. In 95% of those cases, the subject of the call accepted the team's offer of assistance. In the old cop EMS model, that rate was 82%. The new model also appears to be reducing unnecessary hospitalizations. Whereas all assistance cases went to a hospital in the old model, now just 50% do.